Saturdays, and I am continuing to try to continue the RailJack, the Rising Tide quest, to get my big old spaceship. Now, of course, you'll have to excuse me for just a second while I bring up my chat. It's always 50-50 whether or not it shows me. There it is. Alright. And we will get started. So, where I'm at right now is still farming carbides because I don't have enough to get to the next stage. Wow, that was a real deep belch. Came from low. Painful even. So, I don't know if either going Semeni in the dark sector with the infested or going to Casta is more effective for it, but I'm going to assume that anyone who's going into the dark sector is looking for the greater resource drop rate, and so are probably more likely to stay for the carbides. Maybe the infested have more drops for what you call it, because they have more, maybe they'll have more Eximus spawning, so give me a higher chance of getting carbide drops. We'll see though. Perhaps I don't have a super great connection because the map is telling me a focus glyph is right there, but it's not showing up. We have a Trinity, a Volt, and the weird new skin for Excalibur. It's supposed to look like a dude wearing weird clothes that are vaguely Asian-esque. Weird clothes. I don't know. The new Excalibur skin just really doesn't do anything for me. And there's a bit of a warm-up time, it seems, for this mission, because for the Eximus to start spawning, they seem to need to be at least into wave 15 or later. The Stalker's mad because I did an assassination mission at some point ever. You know, Stalker is such a joke now. He used to be really scary. Alright, I'm going to grab the focus glyph and come back.
Tenno. Extraction is ready. Unless you can handle
I have
more
no
of the
idea
enemy.
how to get a unique icon. Oh my gosh, guys, are you serious? Everyone's bailing immediately?
Continue to
Fine,
defend.
I'll try to do it on my own.
Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
Oh, that's lame.
The enemy is at our doorstep. We must defend our equipment until reinforcements arrive.
Especially because when you do these missions solo, you get much less enemies to spawn. And that means there's going to be less Eximus spawning and less opportunity to get the drop that I need. And now I'm thinking maybe it isn't worth it to try to go on my own, because I'll have to do 5 more rounds of this. Well, I'll have to do 10 more rounds of this in order to start seeing some significant Eximus activity. And no one else is going to come in. Defense is probably my least enjoyed mission type. Like, I honestly wouldn't even have to run anywhere since it's infested. I could just turn and fire. I wonder if my armor can survive any degree of the shock rail. Ah, it does 200 damage per second. It's pretty significant. It's not really something you can engage with, it's just kind of like a punishment for trying to use the platform. I guess maybe they thought that being up on that platform was too much of an advantage for the player. I'm not sure. Not sure the reasoning behind that level design aspect. No, there's no need to destroy the ramparts since the infested don't use them. But, well, You know, that might not entirely be true. I did have one, or I guess a couple buggy games where I saw Infested try to use the ramparts the way the Grenadier do. Hey, look, an Eximus. And some carbides. At round 10 rather than 15. Maybe it will be worth it to stick around.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now
Just us.
or continue fighting? Keep fighting. Another opportunity to extract will appear soon.
Hoping is not the case is that Eximus showing up was just because it was the last round. Oh no, another one. Good. Well, how about this? We could try something that I've never tried before, which seems completely irrational and impossible, and perhaps even a complete waste of time. But we could try to reach a defense wave 100. That seems like a fun goal. I'm sure other people have done it before. Warframe's been out for long enough that any self-imposed challenge is probably a copy of someone else, but I think it could be fun. So if I have the goal of getting that far, perhaps I should actually stick near the defensive part, maybe. rather than consider it optional.
Extraction is ready.
Whoa.
Unless you can handle more of the enemy. Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
There we go. Get stuck crouching. I've got to wonder if anyone ever spends any serious amount of time crouching in the game rather than sliding. I don't think crouching actually does anything for you. I don't think it makes you less visible. I don't think it makes you less likely to be hit. I think it's just available as a way to keep moving if you don't let go of your slide. Is the defense point ever going to move again? That's another question. I feel like it's been here for in this spot for the last for the last 5 years. It's supposed to change every 2 or 3. Or at least some point in every group of 5. Probably my favorite parkour movement for Warframe is mid-air rolling or sliding backwards in order to change your momentum or stop it. Just because after I figured out how to do that more successfully, it made me more confident to just like launch myself at turns. Because once you get fast, turning then becomes its own issue. Getting stuck on walls and small lifts small ledges, door frames, they can all be pretty frustrating. Because you really just, once you do it, it's like the exact opposite momentum of a bullet jump. So you just stand still in the air for a moment. Rolled over there because some carbides got dropped. Alright. We're doing pretty well for being completely solo. pay attention for a second. I need to go back with my standard strategy of ignoring when a boiler drops the spawn pods.
Extraction is ready, unless you can handle more of the enemy. Keep fighting. Another opportunity to extract will appear soon.
Yeah, the defense point isn't moving back and forth anymore. I wonder if it can only do that if you're the original host. Now things are starting to pick up a lot. And I don't think I have a rifle ammo mutation, so if I get low on ammo, that's kind of it. I just wish parasitic eczemus was not the most common kind for infested. Because they can be one of the most annoying enemies in the game. The neutralizers and parasitic eczemus. And the Nox, just because they have so much armor. Welcome, guests. We are currently doing a defense mission on Ceres in order to get carbides, and I decided to give myself the ridiculous random challenge of going to 100 after the random public group I was with decided to bail after 5 rounds. So that's what we're after right now. 100 waves of defense, which is something I've not done before, but figured it'd be stupid enough to try. Lore Master, welcome. Welcome, Lore Master. Do you play Warframe, Lore Master? Or are you just popping in to see what it's about? I am a tad worried that with that being how low the shields got, and even some health damage on the defense point for that round, that there's no way I'm going to make it close to 100. That doesn't mean we'll stop trying until it seems too risky to keep going. Hey, I'm super glad that you subbed for my Nier content. My Nier videos are some of my proudest. And yeah, I play Warframe pretty religiously. It's kind of something I've been sleeping on in terms of like making a philosophy evaluation over, because I'm not exactly sure where to start, and the game has been running for so long that there is... And well, they very purposefully included a lot of philosophically interesting core concepts into their narrative. So I have a running outline of what I would talk about, but not but nothing set in stone in terms of a script. Yeah, I've been playing Warframe for years and years now. I wasn't quite a founder. I had to stop a long time ago because my PC was no longer strong enough to handle the game. Oh man, there's no way I can get to 100 if I'm performing this poorly at 27. I might have to give up on the next extract. Even though the health's pretty good. The morality? Oh, well yeah, the morality system in the main story. Yeah, see what concerns me about that being a good place to start is that it lacks the, like, basic setting or the player's concept of what the Tenno were supposed to be or supposed to do. Before they, before a story revealed that everything was a lie, and we're all just babies wandering aimlessly through space alone. And at the current moment, I don't really know much about, like, what the morality system could represent other than, like, it seems to be somehow related to Taoist concepts of balance? Of yin and yang? But, I don't know. I think the first thing I would want to do is a basic setting analysis of, like, how the Warframe were sort of presented as this Hobbesian Leviathan-esque figure that were keeping the balance of power in the origin system in check so that no one could abuse the other. How it only became realized later that they were not very good at that. because we didn't remember the old war, which means we didn't realize that we were enforcers for the Orokin, who were oppressive demagogues. Alright. We're probably going to extract at 30. I don't think I can do... Well, my shield is actually gone almost entirely back up. Never mind, we'll do another 5 rounds and see where we're at. I just gotta stick close to the point. We're still doing good on ammo. Yeah, there's no reason to extract. Carbides. Let's see. 50 is a nice halfway point if you can't.
Reinforcements available.
True.
Do you choose to leave now
True.
or continue fighting?
Let's get to at least 50.
Fighting. Another opportunity to extract will appear soon.
If we get desperate, we get desperate. Add some struggle back into the game. That sort of thing. Let's see. Stuck behind completely stable and obviously their geometry. Trying not to let boilers spawn, but also not let boilers distract me from other enemies further away. And for some reason, this little trolley for the point decided to start moving again, even though it didn't move for basically 15 rounds. Do you mean purple rhino? Well, I sort of have an aesthetic for cyan and magenta or indigo as like just like a central color scheme. And I guess I do main rhino. I have a large collection of Warframes, and I'm happy to switch them up and use whatever one is in my collection. But I kind of stick to Rhino because I like not having to manage my health or shields at all, and just get to freely focus on controlling the character and dealing damage. Kind of makes Warframe a little bit more of like a slow-going, lazy experience. But after we get done with this, if you want me to use a Warframe other than Rhino, if I have it, I'll switch. Got no issue with that. Oh However, I am starting to actually have ammo get used up and reduced, which is happening pretty early too. We usually stick to Ash or Excalibur. I really like Ash now that I rebuilt. I use having Ash Prime as an opportunity to change up how I look at Ash as a build. And I like Ash's ability to get like for that one assassinate augment. I forget the actual names for it, but where you get the free finishing move when you teleport onto an enemy, that I really like, because the amount of true damage you can get from that is massive. And just abusing that feels great. Yeah, Fatal Teleport. Just like... Now the thing is that I don't like about the game design around the Ash Warframe is how bosses, the characters you would want to use extremely high single target damage on, tend to not be affected by Fatal Teleport, or not be able are not vulnerable to finishers, or finisher melee attacks. And so it just kind of disrupts the, what do you call it? It disrupts the game plan for what the frame is like built entirely toward. I think the only one that it actually works on is the Sergeant.
Extraction is ready, unless you can handle more of the enemy.
Rising Storm Augment.
Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
I honestly didn't look that far into it. I just saw that the Fatal Teleport was an extremely fun way to play, and I stuck to it like glue. So we could hope that my build-out doesn't preclude me from being able to use a different augment enjoyably. Ooh, sanguine. Now they're really throwing a lot of excellence at me. But I'm doing okay on ammo again. Whoa. That was a fall. That was an honest to goodness regular AS fall. Alright, health is still at max. Shields are going to be low when the next one shows up, which is at that. The infested chargers have this weird bug where if they initiate their attack animation while they're being set on fire by the Ignis, they'll just teleport forward to where the landing position of the attack would have landed, and instead, like, do the staggered animation from being set on fire at that location. I'm all out of energy because of those parasitic Eximuses that were just hanging out nearby. Alright, there are more over here. Gotta pick those up. Goal number 1 is still carbides, so that we can continue RailJack. Gotta remember that. Primary objective, don't lose. Secondary objective, get money. Tertiary objective, be cool while doing it. You're almost done with your plans, RailJack? Well, that's good. I'm pretty much soloing it. Oh, it's gonna move. Yeah, I could tell that because the Warframe cryopod name and health bar appeared over here before it actually gets going. Gosh. I have played a RailJack mission, a couple of them, but I decided to stop doing those until I had one of my own, because I haven't experienced being able to pilot the ship. And every one of my experiences with playing those missions was that the person piloting the ship could not control or keep things steady at all. It was very frustrating to try to shoot anything with the gun when the person steering the ship caused the entire ship to flip over. Oh, really burning through the ammo on this round. X's. Gotta cut him up.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting?
I'm gonna bail. I'm gonna cash in. Oh, you're doing the solo clan also? Yeah, no, I get it. Having complete control makes things... gives you a bit more peace of mind. You can be sure everything will go the way you expect it to go, even if it takes a little longer. Let's see. 279 carbides is not a bad number of carbides. but I'm pretty sure I will need 1,000, and I don't think I have 1,000. That's relics. I need... What symbol was resources? It's the weird triangle one. Ooh, 98 away. Alright. Well, I guess we're gonna go back in and get 98 carbides. Let's take a look here. I want to look at this Rising Tide augment since you mentioned it. Because I did not pay attention to it.
Excellent armaments, operator. Please return.
Not Rising Tide. Well, Rising Storm.
Safe and sound.
Wait. Let's see, Rising Storm. Blade Storm augment. Increase your melee counter by 1. Passive plus 10 seconds combo duration. What exactly does that... Yeah, what exactly does that get for you, Lore Master? Because, I can... Melee counter can affect, like, it affects... your critical hit chance for melee weapons? But I'm not seeing how you can build it to, like, really increase your overall damage per second or damage per target if you already have, like, a good critical chance weapon. That said, I haven't really tried to be all that specific with the new melee systems that have been changing. I mainly just either try to build something out for huge critical chance or for condition overload, one or the other. Weeping Wounds? I don't think I have Weeping Wounds. And that could be the piece that I'm missing, is a mod that I'm missing. I'm pretty sure I don't have Weeping Wounds.
Order seems to have misplaced those memories.
Yeah, I do not seem to have it. Alright, let me look it up. Universe, mods. And crying like a babby. Oh, I do have it. Oh, status chance per combo multiplier. Okay. But if I already have weapons that have nearly perfect status chance, the Rising Storm gets you just a constant increase of 33.3% status chance for those, like, 10-second durations. Okay, so there's some other mod that is synergistic with these. And it's dropped by Misery or Mania. The only mods that I have been suggested to get recently are the ones dropped by the Stalker Acolytes. And the Stalker Acolyte event maybe happens once a year, maybe. So when people say, go get those mods, you need those mods, it's like, I literally can't go get those mods. They're not available at the moment. Hey, don't worry about it. I'm happy with my Ash build as it is anyway. But, just to change things up, why not be Gara for going back into the defense mission? Oh! And we'll just head right back in. So, Lore Master, I dropped a video about Dauntless today. Have you had a chance to take a look at that? Oi, stretching it out. I tried to keep this one pretty short because there really wasn't all that much in terms of like deep or heavy meaning. It was kind of just part of the presentation. Dauntless can be fun. I would say it got a little repetitive, and some of its mechanics don't quite work together as intended. But it definitely has like a cool feel. It's just a matter of like, and it's a Monster Hunter game, so if like the farming and building new items out of the monster parts you farm is up your alley in terms of interest, then you're going to find a lot of fun with the game too. I would say it took me a little while to get an understanding of what the game intended in terms of like its pacing and how you're supposed to predict or dodge attacks. They kind of operate on the assumption that you're never going to have a perfect run, but you will have good or worse runs, and they'll give you ratings based on it. And the ratings are pretty generous. When you do well, you do very well. When you do poorly, you do terribly. Oh, I barely encircled that thing. But yeah, I found it fun for the time I was playing it. I think for now I'll probably be moving on, just because I already have one farming game in my life. But it's definitely worth checking out, especially since it's free. Like, there's no reason not to give it a download and see if you like it enough to keep going with it. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it has a faster turnaround than Monster Hunter, I'll say that. But I really like those kinds of games. I played, a lot of God Eater Burst and Freedom Wars and Tolkien. And they all come with a different flavor of the sort of same presentation. I would say of all of the Monster Hunter style games that I've played, Freedom Wars probably had the most dynamic or interactive one. Like, its mechanics I liked the most. I didn't like so much the player versus player aspect they tried to put into that game, and I didn't enjoy the monster designs all kind of had this like evil corporate look to them, but it was all pretty samey. So the variety didn't really expand until the later game. For God Eater though, I played a lot more of those, because it had bullet customization for firearms, and that was just an amazing system. I loved it. Makes me wish other games would have bullet editors. But yeah, I don't see, other than its aesthetic presentation and the parts that I talked about in my video, I don't really see much being terribly unique about Dauntless. I have not played Death Stranding. I watched it. I watched some playthroughs of it. Well, specifically, I watched Wooly Versus channel play through it, and I really liked what I was seeing in terms of moment-to-moment gameplay. Like, it seemed oddly chill, despite having like a heavy end-of-the-world setting. And I have not played Code Vein, but I do intend to at some point in the future, just because it is a Souls-like, and I want to see what the anime Souls is like.
Extraction is ready, unless you can handle more of the enemy.
So I'm definitely all for seeing what Code Vein has to offer.
Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
And G-Dawn left the squad because he couldn't make up his mind whether he was staying or going. The time waiting up until Xmas show up in order to get the carbide drops is the worst. Feels like wasted time. Code Vein is poorly balanced but cool. The thing that interested me about like Code Vein as a its mark of uniqueness was that it was advertising that you have that helper NPC follow you around the whole time. Can you tell me a little bit about like how that changes the game? Because all the reviews that I watched of Code Vein didn't really go into that aspect of the gameplay very much. I say all of the reviews, but the only review I watched was Valkyrie Aurora. And did Sphere Hunter? I think Sphere Hunter might have done a review on that game, I can't remember. So having the guest character was not like the central intended play. It was purposefully in easy mode. I think that's kind of odd to go into that genre with the intention of making an easier experience than the core experience is really rare. Huh. Do you remember who developed Code Vein? Because I think it might have been the same one that that developed God Eater. There they are. I'm sure we're taking their sweet time for this round. We're getting stuck down here. Hey, there's our first Eximus, and our first Carbides. Only 88 to go. Oh, I got popped. Re-up my wall. Let's see. Hi, Holly. Wait, hold on. Code Vein and God Eater are in the same universe too? They're not just made by the same developer? Let's see. 5 Carbides, putting me at 83 more needed. I find that a little hard to believe, and it kind of makes me think that I should play God Eater 3 before I take on Code Vein. If they're in the same story, then isn't God Eater like the mainline story of the game? Alright, 9 Carbides, 72, no, 74. 6 Carbides, 68. More Carbides needed. Where'd you go? I know you're right down here somewhere.
Reinforcements
Keep
available.
going, guys. Don't stop now. Miss Mara Kitty, you better get back here. Nah, they're bailing. Different time frames though. Oh, that's weird.
Keep fighting. Another opportunity to extract will appear.
That's really weird. So do we know if God Eater, like in terms of time frames, what are we talking? Does God Eater take place before Code Vein? I get the feeling that it has to take place after, considering just how completely effed the world of God Eater is. Like, humans are only alive in like 4 locations around the planet. And they're constantly getting eaten. Like, the world of God Eater is not succeeding in any imaginable way. Oh, that's so weird that I didn't hear about that. I could have completely missed it. Well, none of the Eximus for this round are going to drop some Carbides. They're going to be stingy about it. Oh no, I think I've lost track of what number I was at for my Carbides. Was I at 68? I think I was at 68. I would very much appreciate if my chat could help me keep track of the carbides. 68, so 50, 42 carbides left needed before we have 1,000. Welcome to the basic subtraction stream, where we gotta do multiple subtraction equations while playing Warframe. Oh, here's some more. 6. So, we are at 36. 36 more carbides needed. Let's see. Haven't played God Eater, but from what I've learned, Codevein takes place in an isolated and are before God Eater. Okay. Prequel I can get down with. As for how was Dauntless? Dauntless was good, but I only was able to do one stream of Dauntless because this week I had to be awake during regular human hours, and I was struck with just immense lethargy and spent most of the week asleep when I wasn't out and about doing responsibilities. So, yeah, I ended up not streaming this week and not streaming Dauntless. That will not stop me, Holly, however, it will not stop me from doing Bloodborne next week, but my stream schedule has changed somewhat, in that I think I need to be doing it at a different hour than I've been doing it before. 5 carbides, I was at 32, so 27. 7 carbides, 20 more. So I'll begin Bloodborne, but I'll be streaming United States Eastern Standard Time. I will be streaming from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. because I believe that will give me the ability to actually sleep at night and not be dysfunctional during the day. However, the Saturday Warframe streams are going to continue at the original time of this time slot, 8 to midnight. I just hope these guys don't bail after this round, thinking that they've gotten enough. Because I would like to keep them around for the next step if possible. Eight. We are at 12 more needed.
Reinforcements available. Do
Keep
you
going,
choose
buddy.
to leave now or continue
Thank you very
fighting?
much.
Continue to defend.
Let's see.
You will be rewarded for your bravery.
So, the new time for streams, Holly, will be 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is my time zone. I am currently a Florida citizen. What the new time is. So Tuesdays through Fridays, 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Saturdays, 8 to... Oh, I fell down. 8 to midnight. And I got 6 carbides there, so I should be at needing 6 more. Only 6 left. That's 5. Let's take a check on my mission progress to see if I've been counting well enough. I was right. 6... Well, no, I wasn't right. I was ahead of myself. I have 92 now. And I will need 6 more. So I was missing 6 at some point. I overcounted. So I'll probably be heading out and doing the next part of RailJack after this. Unless I misremember how many carbides I need in order to do the next stage. I'm pretty sure it was 1,000. That's it. That's all the carbides she needs. Let's see. Well, a few hours after midnight, I think. You said you play in the afternoon, right? I will be playing in the afternoon, yes. Starting next week. I will, in fact, be playing in the afternoon, Holly. I don't know if it'll be the afternoon where you are, but it'll be the afternoon where I am. I know Mifuyu, who drops into chat every now and again, he's in, or they are, I don't know their gender, they are in France, and so they may not be able to join us on that time slot after I change it, which is upsetting. But I gotta think about longevity and health in terms of how I do this, if I'm going to do it for any degree of time at all. Hey, who pulled me off the ledge? Very rude. Now I'm losing my patience and I just want it to be done. Why did it take 16 or 17 waves instead of 15 waves? Oh, c'est la vie. C'est la guerre. Gosh, that's rough. Well, at least the Warframe streams will still be at the same time, so you can join me then. As for Bloodborne, it's not exactly the same, but I can try to leave up the Bloodborne VODs on the main channel for the week leading up to the next Saturday. Maybe refresh them out on Sundays rather than every evening. If that'll give you a chance to see the progress and what's happened with them. What do you think about that, Holly? I know the appeal is in the live aspect, but... a lot. There's a boiler standing right behind me. If he was into chatting, true, but man, you gotta play with the hand you dealt with. Sounds nice. Yeah. The idea is if the streams can reach the point where they become profitable, like they actually support me to a degree, then I can increase the hours that I'm actually doing them. Perhaps have a 4-hour period in the morning and a 4-hour period in the afternoon. And if that's the case, then we're really cooking with gas, you know? But I can't see myself justifying putting more than 4 hours into the stream, especially since YouTube doesn't count unlisted videos as part of the channel's watch time towards the monetization goal. And I still want this channel to be mainly focused on the creative work that I do, the philosophical evaluations and whatnot. And I don't want the reviews and the analysis videos to get bogged down in the stream videos. But I also know that I'm not at the position where making a second channel will result in a significant migration of people who have subscribed to this one. Namely that the second channel already in fact does exist as my moderating channel, but
Operator,
so far, Holly, you're the only one subscribed to that one. Let's see. Rhino. Click on him. Got a scratch on my ear. But yeah, businessy talk about YouTube. Trying to turn it into a real career, a living, so to say. Which is not an easy task. And oftentimes people get real nose-turned about someone as small as me talking about career aspirations on the platform. Seems like people only accept you wanting to talk about career aspirations if you've already made it, which is odd. Alright. Unusual hook, it takes time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think I have a strange streak that can really attract people. And I'm not a comedy channel. I don't do comedy very well when I'm on my own. I'm able to make my girlfriend laugh, and that's pretty much as I need to accomplish. I can make my friends at Dungeons & Dragons night laugh. That's also important. But as to how to make philosophy funny, I've got no idea how to do that. I am not existentialcomics.com. This is it, right? Was this not it? I thought that was the console that I used. Am I supposed to use a different console? Huh? And this is the one that sends you back to your orbiter. Yeah. So what the hey? What do I gotta click on? I thought it was that main console in the center, but it didn't show a clickable. Huh. Well, there's a concern. We definitely built the previous piece. We definitely built it to completion. So, why do I not have a clickable? Did it just not load in correctly? Let's see. Shroud? I don't know of this Shroud person. Is he on YouTube or Twitch? Oh, okay, let's see. Alright. Well, he's definitely carved out a living for himself. Playing PUBG. Let's see. Oh! Combo counter increases Blade Storm's overall damage. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I am niche. I am as niche as they come, Holly. Let's see. Okay. Really what I'm focusing on right now is I'm trying to think of how to be more community focused in terms of how to build an audience, how to interact with other people on the platform, and looking to try to collaborate with other people on the platform. This is frustrating me. Why does it not let me click on that? I'm going to head back. Well, first I'm going to drop off some dyes in the Tenno research lab, and then I'm going to head back to the orbiter and reload the dojo to see if that's what I need to do to start the next part. I'm also trying to be less anime focused and put it mainly on games so that I can focus in my channel a bit more. And surprisingly, my highest performing video is the very clickbaity titled "Foss is Dead." It's So I guess that's not so surprising because it has a clickbait title. But I don't know how really to come up with clickbait without being like disingenuous to the content of the video. It's true. I don't think I dominate the market though. Honestly, if we're talking about philosophy analysis videos, I think Wisecrack dominates the market. In terms of like, this is the philosophy of this game. Because they'll talk about like, they'll talk about a lot of different media and throw in the occasional game here or there. And I know the game theorists don't really do philosophy. They've made like, they've maybe done 2 or 3 videos where they talk about a philosopher in total.
You know it.
But because they're really more focused on math and physics, you know, they get to be science-oriented. Science is more popular at the moment, and I guess for good reason. If only our different fields could play nice more often. And yeah, people really just don't see video games as a medium for philosophy, so one of my major goals is to get people to see that differently. Because I think it's the perfect medium. Let's see. Wisecrack is bad. They have very light research. They talk about things in very general terms. And from my perspective, the way they analyze media content is that they pick a famous thinker who is broad or general enough to be applied to anything, and just try to make it work. Like, they did a Freudian analysis of Dark Souls 3, and it was just like, literally everything is a penis and a vagina. And I'm like, okay, well, problem with Freud, and this is a long-standing criticism of Freud in the psychology area, oh, I'm falling, is that his theories are self-confirming. They're not verifiable. And that's a real issue. Okay. Can't click whatever these things are. They're the new additions and I can't click on them. Alright, I need to look up where I need to click in order to do this next part of Rising Tide. I have thought about trying to form groups. I've reached out to people before, but so far, I haven't really found people interested in doing the same sort of thing that I'm doing. There are a lot of people who talk about games and their experience with games, but in terms of directly talking about philosophy in games, I find that very few people tend to be engaging that particular topic. Lots of people like talking about game design, which is understandable. And I talk about game design as well, but also a lot of people, or at least reviewers in general, seem to be getting weary of talking about ludonarrative, story and game combined, because they hate having to deal with the term ludonarrative dissonance. Whereas I dive headlong into that topic and take it very seriously as like a very important aspect of discussing and critiquing games. Let's see. Warframe Rising Tide Guide. Because so far it's not letting me click on the thing I clicked on before. Let's see. That was the cubic diodes. I had plenty of that. Let's see. The mission to get the propulsion system is very similar to the fuselage part. The propulsion system is found on Earth. You know the drill. Find the... Oh, do I just go immediately to the mission? Huh. Because it said I had to wait for the thing to finish building last time. Let's see. When you need to twit longer, but you can't tweet longer. So you use continued. I shall wait, Holly. I shall wait with bated breath. Yeah, I suppose. At the current moment, I want to find other people who are already on the platform and operating independently. And I've made some lists of people that I'd like to contact and talk to about collaborating with. But as for like coordinating with people to be uploading onto this channel, I know I found that a difficult prospect, because I find that not many people are interested in taking on the task of doing every bit of the work themselves and then uploading it onto someone else's platform. And I don't really have much time in terms of like doing other people's editing, because I'm not terribly fast at it with everything that I know how to do. It's not terribly good at it. So I set that as my active quest now.
Fuselage restoration complete. Propulsion section located. Earth's forests. Beware of hostiles.
Okay. So now I can continue. Or do I have to go back first? No, I can just go straight for it. Huh. But like logistically, if we're creators on different platforms, then
Void contamination points to bleed out from RailJack catalytic artery. Locate and assess.
Then like in terms of how do we have a shared banner? Like, because just speaking personally, I wouldn't want someone posting things under the name Socratetris. Like, sort of taking on my internet persona. Because then things would get falsely attributed to me rather than to a unique writer that I work with.
Propulsion systems, the most advanced ever produced. Scanning. Remain in proximity.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Neutralize all hostiles. Perimeter reached. Clear them out to resume scan.
this location is so annoying because they can come up from multiple different angles. I have to get completely turned away and facing away. But then the spawn points are so close.
Scan interrupted. We do not have time for this.
Sai, you gotta calm down. You are not the one shooting the guns.
Interference drones detected. Scan interrupted. Boom. Drones down. Back to it.
And again, why are sentient interference drones interrupting us?
Scan cannot continue until the area...
Are they going to explain that at some point? Is there going to be some kind of event? You stop.
Drones have established a dampening field. Eliminate them.
Again?
Scan.
And so soon?
Return to objective.
Speaking to the idea of cross-platform integration,
Hold perimeter.
one of the difficulties of that is that whenever you change platform, you can expect like maybe a total crossover of a maximum of 10% of your current audience. And then from that point, you are building from scratch for people who are looking for uniquely that forum, uniquely that platform. And so adopting another platform to be posting on either is seen as trying to be doing a completely independent project alongside the current project, or a bonus for your current audience that decided to migrate. And as it stands, with less than 1,000 people here subscribed to me on YouTube, my total expected conversion for going on over to another platform is like, 10.
Blown. Etheric condenser. Vaporized. Viable.
Demonstrate this further is my my Twitter followers. There's like 200 something of the Twitter followers, but the majority of them were not people who pay attention to or follow my YouTube content. The various reasons that they subscribe to me tend not to be because of the content I make on YouTube. I don't know. It's odd. Let me catch up on what you said here. Let's see. I mean, it's an interesting idea, Holly. My question then is like, in what way do we centralize it? Because if let's say I can find people who are interested in doing that sort of thing on those different platforms, we give calls to action in each of our specific platforms for people to go check out each other's the other person's content. I suppose everyone operates their own independently owned Patreons, or things like that, to reach monetization. I mean, it could work. And the ultimate difficulty is just finding the people. Alright.
Void engines. Void engines. Zada dances our ship through forward lines. Crody identifies and prioritizes targets. Sukin's turrets track and terminate. Our reputation is earned. Our objective, a Turaga-class worm ship. Zada plots an arc. We accelerate. Ancient history. The dead have no needs. The living require that propulsion system. Reconstruction begins. This will take some time.
I only needed 60 carbides to start this segment. What next piece is going to require so many more carbides that I had to collect all those carbides? Huh. Alright, well, like before, we gotta jump up. We gotta climb to the top of our giant spaceship. Oh. I'm gonna try to land on that thing too. Make no mistake about that. Hey. Oh, can I reach those things? Well, we're definitely gonna try to see if these have geometry. Nope, they don't. They just fall right through. Let's see. Let's see. Both stuff are different. I start at 8.01. See you later, Lore Master. I know I miss you because I can see you're already gone, but I hope you do well. Content creation, writing, and interpretation. Literally, almost everything revolves around the act of being written, whether they may post or YouTube. I mean, I don't disagree with that. Stuff does have to get written in order for it to be turned into a publication. Alright, we're gonna try to land on these Fortuna People's platform. And it works! Good. Now let me see, because I may be misunderstanding how the RailJack thing works. I've already started building that next piece, and it's going to take some time. But... no, I do have to wait for it to finish. Alright. Well then. We have to decide what we're going to do next. Switching topics, Rhino is awesome. You've been liking playing as Rhino then? That's good. Glad to infect other people with the Rhino mane disease. It is important. Alright, so, what's something else we could do that I haven't done? I still, in terms of Warframes that I need to get, I still need to get Hildren, Gauss, and Grendel. I know where to get Hildren. I do not know where to get Grendel. Let's see. Blueprint is here. Reward by completing certain missions on Europa using locators. Locators can be purchased from the Arbitration Honors vendor found in any relay. Huh. That's odd. So you have to do arbitration in order to get Grendel? Alright. So depending on how these locators work, and if I have any arbitration points left over from when I was doing that before, which I don't think I do, I could potentially get some Grendel parts.
Survived arbitration? Honors await you.
Skins. Fashion. Huh. What the? Ayatan Zambuca sculpture? I have not been around looking at arbitration anytime for a while. And they have a bunch of stuff that I didn't notice before. I would still think the Bleeding Body ephemera was the only cool thing here. Alright, let's see. Chassis locator, neuroptics locator, systems, and that's just a decoration. But I would need to start getting a lot of Vidisensis in order to get those. Isn't that the weird one? You reduce the damage to yourself by 99%. I'm sure that's high-level intention, so that you don't take damage in the worst of situations. But I think it might be more productive at the moment to aim for a Hildren. Let's see. Let's see. I love Grendel. Like, he's not the most pleasing, and he's certainly not the most useful in some manners, but I just love the Beowulf reference. I don't particularly like Beowulf. But when I was younger, I read Eaters of the Sun inspired from Beowulf and loved it, even though most stuff escaped me. It was Eaters of Death, not of the Eaters of the Dead. How many Warframe slots do I have? I think enough. I gave myself a birthday present of Platinum last year and just bought Warframe slots. Currently have 3 open, and there are 3 Warframes I don't have. So, just enough. Before they introduce the new Warframes they'll be putting in the game this year, of course. So, you know, technically, still not enough. But, if you think about it differently, just enough. Put my extractors back out, because I was ignoring those for a while. Alright, off to Fortuna. Yeah. I mean, I played the game for, I mean, I already told you this, years. before I put even a single penny into the game. And as it stands now, I've only spent maybe a total of $25, $30 on the game. So kind of at a certain point, it feels like they should be paid for the game that they made, that I am playing for free. Alright. So the only way to do Hildren is to do
Sparky,
Exploiter
right.
Orb.
We're all here. Let's get started. Green. And remember, you never heard of me, you never heard of Solaris U. Head to deck 12 and load the Thermia into the condenser. Then we start planning an attack on Exploiter.
I thought, isn't there a gear item that I need for this mission? And if I don't have it, that is somewhat awkward. Let's see. Somebody told me to buy Warframe slots with the platinum, and I mistook default loadout. Oh no! Oh no, Holly, that's rough! That's the worst. That was good advice from that person, but oh. It's a rough start. There's no way to get that changed or turned around. Oh no, I'm not selling. Jesus Christ, no, I'm equipping. Let's see. What was missing from the build out? I don't even remember. So it's been a very long time since I've tried fighting Exploiter Orb. So if I do it wrong or bad, don't hold it against me. I think the only thing right now is to add the elements, but I can't because I don't have the last little bits of the upgrade. Huh. I could have sworn I had both of those filled, though. I might be wrong about that. Because if there are only 2 more points... that would be 6. I would have 4. I guess I might have filled it with something else? Like perhaps Vigilante Armaments was down there. And then something like Hellfire was here. Let me look up Exploiter Orb's weaknesses before I jump into this. Exploiter Orb Warframe. Bring it up. And let's see. Viral damage type has a bonus. Gas has a bonus. No, that's toxin, not gas. If toxic has the bonus, then we're going to replace that. And I happen to be using the rifle that does the impact damage, which is normally good, but has some a little bit of puncture, which could help. I don't know. It'll probably be okay. Let's see. It's okay. I don't expect you to stay up to the second. I was basically just doing my loadout for Rubico as I'm heading off to fight the Exploiter Orb in order to get parts for the Hildren Warframe. Since that's about what we need to do. Did I go in? No, I went in public. I'm just not getting anyone joining at this point. I hope I'm not forgetting anything about how to make this mission actually start. Because I believe there is some kind of like code that you had to use to get in. Alright. We'll see how well we do. First step is make condensed thermia, which requires thermia fissures. I may not have what I need.
To mine those fractures. One breach, and Fortuna's concourse floods with thermia. We tried taking Exploiter down, back in the day. We have to try again. But this time, we have to succeed. We don't, it'll be Deck 12 all over again. And I can't have that. Zood and her sisters built a thermic condenser. Load it with thermia and we can start prepping for a fight.
Alright. You gotta show me where it is, though. I've not done this before. Not solo, anyway. All I know is to go to this cave. So maybe it'll just happen in story when I get to this cave. And we're apparently doing this solo on accident. And nope, I got none of this. Yeah, I don't think I know how to do this. I'm gonna have to abort mission. Let's go back to Fortuna and check the wiki as to what this is supposed to be. They were all words. They're all proper nouns for things in the game, Holly. How's Nidus and how's Equinox? Between the two, I like Equinox better. But I think Nidus has more potential in terms of active use. Equinox is really about having a lot of different buff options and 2 different sets of them to choose from at any given time, while Nidus is really focused on doing one particular thing really well, building up a counter that allows him to basically be immortal. as a frame. So, I mean, it's an interesting concept in how it works, because it is offense focused and survivability focused. But in terms of just being invincible and living, I believe it's still not as good or functional as just Rhino's iron skin. He is able to boost the ability strength of other Warframes, though. So Nidus is really good for synergy between different party members. At the same time, I think Equinox's team abilities are more consistent and apply more broadly, even if they're not as strong at the highest level. I don't know. I could be speaking out of my butt. But overall, I prefer Equinox, just in terms of design and play style. Nidus is interesting, but kind of a pain to get, because you have to run the one specific mission over and over in order to get him. But then again, that's every Warframe. Let's see. Exploiter Orb is a large arachnoid creature that patrols. Did a big story destruction on the last home. Let's see. Its behavior when she's moving. Alright, Phase 1. When Tenno first enters Deck 12, located in a cave northeast of Horindi Crater, and inserts diluted thermia into the thermic condenser, located next to where the vent would be. Exploiter Orb will engage Tenno with the following moveset. Okay, so you need to be able to get into Deck 12 in the first place, which I am still not able to do. Researching on stream. Big fun. Let's see. Alright. They input the encrypted passphrase reading "The dead have debts" in the Corpus language. Operation Buried Debts. The Tenno find hidden data hashes scattered across Orb Valis, which Rude Zood reluctantly analyzes and discovers a passphrase. After finding all the hashes, Yudiko realizes that the passphrase opens a place she'd never thought she'd return to, and directs the Tenno to Horindi Crater. They input the encrypted passphrase in the Corpus language and find the ruins of Deck 12. Upon finding and activating the thermia condenser, the Tenno are confronted by the Exploiter Orb. Okay. So, Operation Buried Debts was a part of this. Is an event released with this update. Ultimate leading to the battle with the Exploiter Orb. Uncovering a piece of hidden past from the Orb Valis, unique to the operation. And second, an ongoing effort to closing thermia fractures all over Valis, a bi-weekly recurring event. Data hashes scattered across Orb Valis can be scanned once to contribute to the community goal of deciphering hidden passcodes. This seems like this was very event-focused, and I don't know if any of this is even still in the game. Opening gate requires... The cave contains a gate with a 16 cipher lock. Chatter insists they open the gate, but Zood fears what lies beyond. Opening the gate requires no player input, as the passphrase has already been automatically inputted into the terminal. Okay, but I still don't have access to that cave. Don't understand it. What am I supposed to do next? You're planning on exchanging Volt for one of them? Nidus or Equinox? And another Warframe which could trump them all. Triumph for them all. Really, all the Warframes are largely designed to do the thing they're good at very well. Like, I wouldn't say at this point any of them aren't viable. If you don't like Volt and you have to choose between Nidus and Equinox, I would go with Equinox. If you can, and it's an option on the table, I have a lot of fun with how Nyx plays. I would say Nova, because Nova has a lot of applications, but I don't like the base Nova's look. I think Nova Prime looks great, but I think standard Nova looks very bland. Now I gotta see, is diluted thermia a thing on the gear wheel? Do I have some of it? And is that part of figuring out how to get this thing to work? It does not appear to be. Well, we're apparently switching our arsenal back to good old Ignis and trying to figure out what we're supposed to do to get inside that place. Do I gotta go back to Harindi Crater and find something? Because the part A of this event, of Buried Debts, seems to be fully complete. Each fracture closed will reward 1 point. Closing 4 fractures with a single coolant canister will reward 1 unit of diluted thermia affected by resource boosters, and an additional 3 points for a total of 7. Alright. I guess I just need to do thermals at this point. I see. Well, I guess in terms of tanky frames, I mean, Chroma and maybe Atlas are really the only other ones that come to mind in terms of the tank playstyle. There's also Valkyr, but you gotta build Valkyr towards lifesteal with her exalted weapon, because she can go down quickly, and you use her 4th ability to get your life back up to full after it's fallen down. Alright, they are over there. hopefully just by having diluted thermia, it'll give me access to Deck 12 so that I can do that quest. We're in a cataclysm, limbo. No wonder things were completely unreadable. But then again, it's working well. That's why I wasn't doing that much damage to it. I'm surprised that they were able to keep the alert level low. Because pretty much every time I've been with a group that's trying to do thermia, they let the alert level get to max within a minute. Whoever built out this limbo actually knows what they're doing. Because their cataclysm is not collapsing at all. They must have spec for range and duration like nothing else. Oh, it is shrinking a little bit. This is probably the first time I've ever been happy to have a limbo on my team.
Fracture sealed. Let's do it again.
Alright, I guess we gotta go find another one.
You ready? Drop that refined coolant into that fracture to get the party started. Defensive positions. Do not let them destroy the canister.
So we need to get 4 of these in order to just get 1 item of diluted thermia. But supposedly, since everyone doing the quest would have one, it technically counts as being able to do it 4 times? Doing the mission 4 times for 4 chances at Hildren perks. This one is not going as well. That canister is almost dead. Limbo's kind of useless. In order to get his abilities to work together, you just need a lot of inputs, and they have to stack to be viable at all. And then when you... Basically, whenever you're not using his fourth ability, it sucks. He makes it so that people can't do damage in the middle of missions, and like, so the way it works is that when you put an enemy in the void, Limbo can affect them. They have this like rift space that is like between the reality and the void that he uses. So if they're in the rift, then Limbo's abilities can affect them. If they are not in the rift, Limbo's abilities can put them in the rift. And if they are in the rift, but you as a team member are not, then you can't do any damage to that enemy at all. You have to get into the rift. But what's more likely to happen is because whenever Limbo does a dodge, he creates a little rift that party members can go through, is that party members will wind up in the rift when no enemies are in the rift, and that is also a condition for party members being unable to deal any damage to enemies. So it just kind of makes it impossible for people to play the game. And that's the frustrating bit about it. Is that Limbo makes it so that other people playing the game can't play the game. And that's why people don't like Limbo. But Cataclysm is helpful as a 4th level ability for protecting a defense point, because the object gets considered to be inside the rift as well. So if enemies are shooting at the Cataclysm from outside the orb, from the outside the dome, then that means that the defense position is protected. But once the enemies enter the dome and start firing at the defense position, it is not protected because the enemies are in the rift. It's very complicated, unnecessarily so, and just annoying to use. That's kind of the sum of what Limbo's issues are.
If Neff won't do anything about these fractures, we'll do it for him. Let's get this fracture sealed. Keep him off the canister while it does its thing.
Gotta shoot people. Gotta shoot these people with a gun. I mean, conceptually speaking, Limbo was a really cool idea. It's just his implementation is annoying to use and annoying to others. But I have to admit that this Limbo has built out their frame to be useful for this scenario. I'm not saying I would want a Limbo in any other mission type, but for protecting these canisters, they seem to be very effective. And this is the first Limbo player I've met who has not just gotten in the way of the rest of the party. But there are other ways to achieve the same thing that Limbo's Cataclysm does. For example, frost warframes can just put up a whole bunch of snow globes over a point, and the snow globes will protect the point as well. Gara's walls can protect a point. Nova's slowdown augment can protect a point very well. Like, a lot of different warframes achieve what Limbo's warframe is best for in different ways that are less difficult to use. Limbo also doesn't have any particularly great ways of causing damage to enemies with abilities, but I tend not to find that to be a problem, given that I tend not to try to deal damage with Rhino. I just put up my defenses and get shooting. I'm gonna shoot this thing, because that is in the way. The light shined, but no one spawned. It's odd. I've never seen that blue light show up in anything before. I found the best way to get around being annoyed by people who use Limbos poorly is to know what being in the rift looks like. Hey look, diluted thermia. And so that you can roll out of it if you're in a standard mission, or if you're on the edge of a cataclysm, which is Limbo's 4th level ability, the big dome. Sticking to the outside of the dome so you can walk on either side of it is usually best. Because trying to gauge whether or not the enemy is on the inside or the outside from a glance is very frustrating. Especially if the dome collapses faster than the enemies walk. Then they're just basically running into it, pausing, then getting back out, then running back into it. It's pretty silly. Alright, well that's one diluted thermia. I don't know if they're getting more. It looks like they're getting more. Canisters. Or at least that they were looking for them. Maybe they already got the canisters and I'm just slow. Let's see. Let's see. And Warframe is like Space Ninja Pokemon. Like a Pokedex was allow you to scan enemies and objects, get information.
You ready? Drop that refined coolant into that
A video about how Warframe is just space Pokemon. I mean, it kinda is. I think the argument can really be made for it.
Incoming forces! Protect the canister!
Where is Pokemon's resource collecting, though? That's the big question. my iron skin go? That's a way more important question. Not putting iron skin up as a rhino is sacrilege. Blast that away. Now, if I were to do like a Pokedex video on all the Warframes, then I would have to find new summaries for each of the Warframes to do, because a lot of them don't have descriptive summaries the way the others do. Now that DE has been releasing Warframes just to get them out as mechanical content without putting story content behind them. Did I really get a Vegatoroid? Down by the space... Oh, I guess we are by the spaceport. Well, talk about lucky. I didn't think you could be this far away and still get the Toroid. I can't believe I ever tried to do this on my own. Because they throw so much at you right away the moment you put a canister down. What's that guy doing up there?
Done, but there's still coolant in the canister. Grab it and let's find another fracture. This diluted thermia could come in handy.
Alright. Finding another fissure.
If Neff won't do anything about these fractures, we'll do it for him. Let's get this fracture sealed. Keep him off the canister while it does its thing.
Here they are. Somewhere. Are they only spawning from a couple locations? Down here and on the road? So odd. I could definitely see myself making a, like, Warframe-amon Pokedex video for, like, April Fools. And don't you do, for Pokemon, don't you do shining farming by opening eggs? By doing a lot of breeding? Isn't that how you farm for shinies? Pokemon. That's essentially the same thing, if you think about it. Because Warframes... In Warframe you open relics in order to get the prime Warframes.
Slot that data mass into the base terminal and I'll get to work.
Sealing
Grab the
complete.
canister and get to another fracture.
That is not it. Alright, now we're away. Let's see. Yeah, but you didn't mention the egg hatching with the Chinese. I just added information, Holly. Alright. Canisters are dropped when you destroy the exploiter orbs. Babies. Where are the babies? She doesn't seem to have any baby arachnoids with her. And no one's talking. Doesn't hurt to try. Wait, hold on. I definitely saw one. Where'd they go? I most definitely saw one of those baby arachnoids. There it is.
You ready? Drop that refined coolant into that fracture to get the party started.
And away we go.
Defensive position.
I guess they did have one
Let
already.
them destroy the canister.
Oh, where are we at on time? It's 10:34. Might want to grab a soda in a moment. What is attacking me and destroying my shields? Weird. Alright, well, they're already backing me though. I know I only have... I should already have one Hildren parts blueprint prepared. So technically, if I got extremely lucky, I could get away with only 2 diluted Thermia. And doing the Exploder Orb 2 more times. But that would be some remarkable luck. Your back is aching. That's no good. Is there a specific cause, or is this a chronic backache, Holly? Hey, chronic conditions can happen to people of any age. I've got a friend who plays Dungeons and Dragons with me who's only a couple years older than I am, and he has chronic back problems. Alright. I'm gonna tell these guys I'm bailing and go grab myself a drink and then come back using acronyms. Got to go, GG, TY, LMNOP, QRXTUZ. Make my way back to Fortuna, and then jump out of their party. Alright, and we do that. Remember correctly, leave squad first. And then jump into the exit. Yes, G to G has got to go. It is the internet acronym from the early days of internet. And somehow I'm holding on to a canister. I don't know how. I don't believe I was holding on to that canister before. But you know what? Heck, I'll take it with me. Why not? There. Oh, it got teleported outside. Boo. You sent me a message before that. Oh, you're just grinding for credits and it's a pain, and it's causing your back to ache. You gotta not farm for credits so intensely. Gotta bring it down, bring it low. All right. I gotta put that diluted thermia in my gear wheel. If it even is a gear item, which I thought it was. Maybe it's not. Maybe I just need to have the resource. Equipment. Inventory. Resources. There. And let's find the diluted thermia. I apparently already had some diluted thermia. Now, that is a concern. No, I don't mind showing my Rhino build. My Rhino build is not the best. It is not optimal. So if you intend to build it after mine, it might actually be a better idea to look at other people's builds. But yeah, here it is. It's Umbral and Primed and Gladiator and Augur and blah blah blah. It's all over the place. But I like it. So I'm gonna run grab myself a Dr. Pepper. I'm gonna come right home back. Feel free to take notes on what mods I'm using, how unoptimal they may be, and I should be back in a couple minutes. Don't go nowhere.
Bother me now. Talk to your supervisor. Oh, that one. Get over here. Contract. Interested? talk to your supervisor.
All the outlaws are still in. Contract. Interested?
I've returned from off camera. Oi. Holly, when you get back from your break, you let me know. I'm gonna open up this Dr. Pepper and try to figure out where I went wrong again. For how to do the exploiter orb. Because if I already had diluted thermia, then it was not a matter of needing the resource in order to be able to access that part of the mission to get Hildren parts. Alright, let's see. I'm also going to check to see what Hildren parts I have. Because it will be important to know. Relics, miscellaneous. Miscellaneous, it will have the blueprints. So, sorting by name, get to H. Not too far. I have Hildren, Neuroptics, and just the Neuroptics. I bought an extra Grendel blueprint for no reason earlier in the stream. Whoopsie doodle. Do I still need to buy the Hildren base blueprint?
If Solaris United is gonna be what it once was.
Offerings.
Any of this useful?
And as it stands, no, I do not have... Well, do I? Tell me if I do. I do not appear to have the base Hildren blueprint. So, need to trade some toroids. Of which I need to trade 5. It's the lazulite toroid that mostly goes into building Hildren, if I remember correctly. So we'll just kind of be even with all of them.
Oi, see anything you fancy?
Alright. Purchased.
Works for me. Oh, see you on the...
Alright, so now let's figure this out. How's Boltor? Wait, never mind. Alright, I will not mind even slightly. I used Boltor for a little while, but I gave it up almost immediately. It was neat looking. Give it that much. Very spiky. How to get in deck 12.
Got a minute?
Warframe. Just search it outright. Let's see. The solution for the console should already be there for you. The solution should just be there. So why is it not? That's the question. Do I have to go and do the solution to the console before I start the quest? Is that the ticket? Yes, I was browsing. For corrosive damage, you combine a toxin elemental mod with a shock elemental mod, and it becomes corrosive. And corrosive's effect, when the status effect procs, is a reduction in the armor of the target, making it a favored element type for the Grineer. Now, the Corpus also have a lot of units that have armor now. So, some people in the Warframe community believe corrosive to be universally the best element to use for everything at all times. They're wrong, but there is a very good argument to be made to always have at least one person with corrosive on the team. Or be built out to have something in your kit doing corrosive damage for when you encounter a very high armored target. What? So in your arsenal, you go to the mod of a weapon. You need a mod that adds toxin damage and a mod that adds shock damage. And using both at the same time will automatically cause the damage type to become the secondary damage type. And in the case of electricity and toxin, it becomes corrosive. Alright. So I'm here. I'm at the Hack the Console place. It is very clearly... Oh! No, it just opens. Well, I feel like a fool. And to get over that, I'm going to mine this rock. As well as this one. This whole time I've been expecting to see Corpus words on that console to hack, but I guess because it was just part of the previous event, they blurred it out rather than showing the passcode just locked in. So this whole time I thought I didn't have the ability to solve it for whatever reason, and have not been going forward. I suppose that's a good thing, since I haven't had a party any time. Let's see. So I'm gonna go back and try to get a party. A squad. And then maybe I can get more than just the Neuroptics blueprint for Hildren. Got the hiccups all of a sudden. What are they? Are you using the corrosive so you can do the Nightwave mission? The Nightwave daily? Forgetting that I can't do dodge rolling in the air. Or air gliding in these city parts. Alright. Let's
Sparky,
try this again.
Right. We're all here. Let's get
Public
started. Sparky.
briefing.
Right. We're all here. Let's
Exploiter
get started.
orb.
Anyone asks?
Begin.
We never talked. Head to deck 12 and load the thermia into the condenser.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing.
An attack on Exploiter.
That's the best thing about these night waves, these battle passes that Warframe has implemented. It is now easier than ever to get Warframe slots and weapon slots whenever they institute one of these passes. Entirely free. When the next one will happen, who knows? They've given some information about when they expect to do the next Nightwave. But the Nightwave now seems to be their main vector for delivering story content, so it might start becoming far and few between as well. Let's see. You mean Unico sounds like Siri? I've never put that together, but it's been a long time since I've heard. Wait, do you mean Siri the phone, or do you mean Siri as in Cirilla from The Witcher? That's an important distinction, because when you say Siri, I hear Cirilla. But as it stands, the only way that you can get Warframe slots for free is by doing Nightwave. That's the only way they've ever implemented that.
Neff's using the Exploiter orb to mine those fractures. One breach, and Fortuna's concourse floods with thermia. We tried taking Exploiter down back in the day. We have to try again. But this time, we have to succeed. We don't...
So just popping into the mission isn't going to get anybody doing it?
Can't have that.
Because apparently it's not popular enough like it was when it first released that I can just select it and get in. Even when I hadn't done any of the work for it. You only get it once per offering. So once per Nightwave rotation. Yeah, once per Nightwave. Alright, so I gotta get on recruiting. Let's see. Exploiter orb. 1-4. And hopefully we'll get some messages or an invite sometime soon. Because Exploiter Orb is not something that I believe I will be able to succeed at on my own. I don't want to waste the diluted Thermia in order to do that. Try again. Exploiter Orb. Every 120 seconds.
Don't bother me now. Talk to your supervisor. Get over here. Contract. Interested?
Orb. 4. Hildren. There we go. You got one. Didn't take too long. Could have taken a lot longer. Exploiter Orb. 2-4. Close the tab. Yeeticus. I almost never do recruiting to get a party together like this. Alright. Exploiter. Orb. 3-4. Exploiter Orb. 4. Hildren. 3. 4. Invite that person. Maybe. How are we, Yanni?
Get back to work, you muckers.
Ghost Caliber is impatient. Wait for... fourth? Exploiter orb. 3, 4. All right. They say we're not waiting. And I am switching to my sniper rifle.
Sparky, right. We're all here. Let's get started. Outstanding.
And quest begin.
Now get out there and void some mucking warranties. Head to deck 12 and load the thermia into the condenser. Then we start planning an attack on Exploiter.
Let's see. The compartments that you can't open at first can be opened on to fulfill certain criteria. So in your orbiter, you mean the different parts of your orbiter that you can't access do open under certain conditions. 2 of them open because of things you do for the story, and the third opens when you have new Warframes go through Warframe puberty and get a big ol' zit on their neck. That's when you can get into the other one. Oh, well, look at this fancy. He definitely dressed up his space doll. In missions, I can't think of anywhere in a mission that is a locked off room until you complete more of the story. Huh. Can you give me an example of something you're thinking of? Because it might help jog my memory. But just off the cuff, I don't know of anywhere in a mission that isn't accessible.
One breach, and Fortuna's concourse floods with thermia.
Directly.
We tried taking Exploiter down.
I was thinking I didn't have access to this under room for the Exploiter orb, but turns out the only mistake I made was that I didn't walk forward.
And I can't have that. Zood and her sisters built a thermic condenser. Load it with thermia and we can start prepping for a fight.
Are you serious? Oh. Now, it has been a long time since I did this. So hopefully these two can carry me a little bit.
Home again. Deck 12. Most of the old SU never made it out. Legs' folks. And Zood's sisters.
And you can still hear the humming of the ghosts.
Through to her, but she insists they never existed. Zood?
There's a paper hat here.
What Why can't I remember their names? What was that?
If I remember correctly, Exploiter Orb comes down. We gotta shoot out the butt vents.
Solaris! You're knighted! You shall not miss them!
Holy crap, guys. He went down in a second.
Take out her ventilation.
I bet you guys are thankful I chose Rhino now, aren't you? There he goes.
The winter chill invigorates our character and fortifies our bodies.
Alright, next is... we need to grab the...
Solaris, you're knighted. You must be taught what to think, not how to think. Look at me when I'm speaking to you! Eyes to Beth. Think she's indestructible. Not today. Purging the condenser. How's your throwing arm, Tenno?
Alright, now we can grab Thermia and chuck it. And try to get it onto the icy bits. Try to get it onto the icy bits in order to get access to the vents again. Good enough yet? No. Alright, try again. No. I got dead people to deal with. Try not to be too dead, guys. You can only survive a couple follies at a time. Throw it. Yeah. Got it open. Need to do it again, though. This one load it back in. No, not yet.
Lob the canister at a fence. Don't miss.
Already got it. Oh, we already got it. Oh, actually, that worked out really well. Static did a bunch of damage to it.
Now she's sweating.
Oh, we gotta do it again.
Sweating.
Or is she running away? Hardship does build character.
Mother requests the pleasure of your company.
Apparently my static core is really good for this on its own. Which is odd. Is she still running away? No, she's just up there. We're still trying to get her. We're just trying to get her from a different angle because she ran away. How far up do we have to go? Is this new? I don't remember having to throw it. never gotten up there before. Is it even possible? Huh. I mean, those are already blown out. What am I... Oh, I couldn't jump on the wall up there.
You will not have me so easily. My fangs are fully grown.
Well, I guess they were able to shoot him. I wasn't seeing an angle on it. Alright, good enough. I apparently don't know what to do for that third phase, but I can apparently do phase 1 and 2 just fine, and now we're on to phase 4. Let's see.
Fortuna. She's going to attack Fortuna. Her mind has snapped. Get out there and stop her.
Resource boxes that you need a key to open in mission. No. When you come back, I'll let you know that that's not a thing. Loading in a mission when you've already loaded into a mission. Waiting. That's a Nyx Prime skin? I didn't recognize this as Nyx at all. Weird. Hi, Exploiter baby.
Cooling air, I think, shall do me good.
Alright.
Attentive children are a joy to all. Attend me, little ones.
So the red lights are just attack lights.
Call them, and know what it means to feel them die.
Don't let those arachnoids cool her off. Keep the heat on.
Die!
Watch it. She's fracturing the terrain.
Tell me and we'll make it quick. What were their names?
There is...
Ooh, they're fast.
Her cognition engine is exposed. Shred it.
We are not at home.
Do I do Archon? I don't know how much this is doing. It's doing something. There it goes.
Medicine, children. Mother needs her medicine.
Stop those spiders.
each phase. It's a big frustrating. Oh, dang. I just got rocked. You can really throw that from any distance, can't you? Where are the arachnoids?
If you will not be a model, you shall be an example!
Oh. Shaking the camera kind of makes me a little motion sick. Just a little bit.
Medicine, children! Mother needs her medicine!
You don't need anything.
Stop those spiders!
Mother
Oh my gosh. There were so many arachnoids over here.
Just for a moment.
And that's how you do it. You jump at them and press square. That's how I get being in this cutscene. That's what I wanted to see. There we go. Oh, big raccoons.
Nothing shall replace a child's love for their mother.
Alright, fire them.
Bringing in refined coolant. Don't let them reach the orb.
Gotta focus on taking the arachnoids out of the work. Alright. There are so many canisters of coolant back there. It's too late. We need more fractures opened up. Ah, Ghost. How'd you let yourself get killed by that thing?
More thermia! More thermia!
Wow, it just missed because she stood up.
Nothing shall replace a child's love.
That's the worst reason to have just missed.
Arachnoids, bringing in refined coolant. Don't let them reach the orb.
Oh, I just threw that one way too high.
She's exposed.
Oh, beat me to it.
Shut her down.
We shall not suffer
At least we all got one.
That's enough.
Gotta aim. There's one.
the joy of the world toward home. That sweetest spot, 'neath the sun of the sun.
Sparky, get in there. Grab what you can before she goes critical.
Grab all the rewards. Oh, the freezing step ephemera! Lucky! And Hildren's system. Oh! Boo. I got blown up.
She's down.
Oh well.
Zood? You did it. Zood? Zood, you okay?
Score's paid. Debt's settled. Slate's clear.
You remember them. That's all that matters.
I remember us. You knew us. You know our name.
We've never forgotten. Me, Biz, Spokefinger, any of us.
Alright.
We had a name. Our name was...
That was fun.
Our name was Zood. The Zood. Thank you. Yeah? Don't get used to it. The lot of ya.
Why did it not send? Yeah. If I remember correctly, chassis should not be the rarest of them. So if we get chassis for the next one, that'll be a very successful stream. Can't believe I got the frozen step ephemera like nothing. That's supposed to be a very rare drop. Like a 0.1% chance or something. I'm happy about it. Boy. Alright, let's look through. Hildren system, freezing step ephemera. Just a bunch of parts. Lazulite toroid. Cool. I'm happy about that. Alright, Yeedicus is ready.
Sparky, right. We're all here. Let's get started. Get moving.
Let's do it
We're
again.
Short.
They're going with Octavia and Nedza.
Head to
Grendel?
deck 12 and load the thermia into the condenser. Then we start planning an attack on Exploiter.
I wonder if they're doing that so that they can travel to Thermia fissures better? It's an interesting choice, guys. I would not have chosen it myself. And how are you flying, Nedza? Why are you above the ground? Oh gosh. Did Yedicus load in first? I suppose so.
Neff's using the exploiter orb to mine those fractures. One breach, and Fortuna's concourse floods with thermia. We tried taking exploiter down back in the day.
I'm killing myself trying to be in an
again,
Arcwing down
but
here.
this time, we have to succeed. We don't, it'll be Deck 12 all over again. And I can't have that. Zood and her sisters built a thermic condenser. Load it with thermia and we can start prepping for a fight. Home again. Deck 12. Most of the old SU never made it out.
You're doing the same thing I did. It's hilarious.
Sisters. It broke her, you know? We've all tried getting through to her, but she insists they never existed. Zood?
I hear them. My sisters. Everything I hear echoes from my sisters.
I'm going to see
to my mind. One
if Rubico or if the Staticore is a better weapon for phase 1 than the Rubico is. Because if it is,
what was that?
now I'm going to make that a priority.
Solaris, united, you shall not be spared the rod, as those who came before you were not
Yedicus is taking some damage.
Hey! I remember you. Word of advice. Run. While you still got legs. I know you don't.
Alright, they do have to shoot out the legs first. I forgot that step. Oh, my iron skin again.
The winter chill invigorates our character and fortifies our bodies.
Wait, how did one get broken? Oh, just one breaks before automatically.
Solaris, united, you must be taught what to think, not how to think. Look at me when I'm speaking to you!
I stand Vince. Think she's indestructible. Not today. Purging the condenser. How's your throwing arm, Tenor?
Weren't there 3 condensers? Because I'm only seeing 2. And here we go. Wow, got shiny. Going a little faster than we did last time, even. Oh, she juked. Grab another one.
Now she's sweating. Now she's sweating.
Get rid of those baby arachnoids getting in the way. Alright. Shoot the canister. You just gotta do it from down here. If I use the static core, I don't really need to aim all that much. The only canister we need to shoot? Oh, you got her. She running away?
My sisters.
Good.
Tell me their names.
Come, children. It is a fine day to visit the city. On them.
And Ghost has their thermal canister.
Fortuna. She's going to attack Fortuna. Her mind has snapped. Get out there and stop her.
So we're all equipped. If I get chassis out of this, that will be completely ridiculous. So fingers crossed. I love the dances when they're holding something. It's so ridiculous. Oh, I dropped the canister for this dance. That's odd. Weird. Now that's the dumb looking one. Look at that. So much waiting mid-mission. We're all jumping mad. This is how you kill time in Warframe. You jump on the wall forever. And sometimes your canister disappears. This is how we rave in Warframe! Swing that thermia all around! Alright, time to be serious. Time to go save a bunch of robot people from getting murdered.
Are a joy to all. Attend me, little ones.
Toss it! Slap.
Call them. Call them. You know what it means to feel them die.
Don't let those arachnoids cool her off. Keep the heat on.
Some fresh,
That
cooling air, I think, shall do me good. Die!
Watch it. She's fracturing the terrain.
Toss it.
Tell me and we'll
Big
make
throw.
it quick.
Good hit.
What were their names?
There we are.
Listen, children. Mother needs her medicine.
Going much faster than the first time.
Spiders. Her cognition engine is exposed. Shred it.
I don't know why grabbing the thermia canisters makes it so that... Ooh. Good strike. Yeah, no. I don't understand why grabbing the thermia canister automatically switches you over to your secondary weapon. Those long distance throws feels so satisfying. Where'd he go? Oh, I didn't get the hit. What is that? Oh shoot, I changed my angle and I toss it nowhere.
You shall be an example.
Gonna need more thermia.
I definitely spoke too soon.
Medicine, children. Mother needs her medicine.
There's not a fracture. Where'd it go? There it is. Try to dodge that.
Mother needs to rest her eyes. Just
There she is. I got myself 2 out of the 3 cutscenes. Can I go for a third? No! Get your leg out of my way. Dang! I didn't get the break shot. Ooh. I am greedy. I must do everything myself. Even though I waited specifically for a team so I wouldn't have to. No. 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 No to all of you. No! Let me shoot through the corpses of your friends.
Arachnoids, bringing in refined coolant. Don't let them reach the orb.
Oh, darn it. I'm not doing a good job of watching out for the arachnoids. That's not it. This is it. Toss. And that's not a real fissure. It's just a graphical hole leftover. Oh, I do not like that you guys are loading from way over there Like you got any kind of business. Hey. Just gotta bring these canisters closer to them because I killed everyone over here.
More thermia! More thermia!
Alright, 3 should be good enough.
Nothing shall replace a child's love for their mother.
Arachnoids, bringing in refined coolant. Don't let them reach the orb.
Nope. Okay, someone else got it. Ugh, I keep switching to get them. But my teammates are doing it faster than me. Oh no! I was too far away when they finished it off. That's it. So looks cool.
That's enough.
Let's see. I can't get the break shot at least. One of them is also using... Hey! I did! Nice.
Of the world toward home, that sweetest spot, 'neath the sun of the sun.
Drop those drops, lady. Done.
Get in there. Grab what you can before she goes critical.
Oh, neuroptics. That's not chassis.
She's down. Zood? You did it.
Whoa.
Zood?
Hello, ship.
Zood, you okay?
Score's paid. Debts
Where
settled.
am I?
Slate's clear.
You remember them. That's
I have got myself all turned around and lost. That smokestack is probably Fortuna. Well,
You knew us.
that was probably the last run I was going to get in tonight.
Our name.
We've never forgotten. Me, Biz, Smokefinger, any of us.
We had a name. Our name was Zood. The Zood. Thank you. Yeah? Don't get used
Well,
to it.
I wish it was chassis,
A lot of
but good enough is good enough. So I'm gonna say goodbye to these folk and be on my way out for tonight. Call it a stream. First check on what I can build and then call it a stream. Oh, Eucas was quick to leave the squad. Ugh, you must have loaded in a second before I did. Alright. I believe technically I could do that myself, but it would be a huge pain. And there's definitely like a soft time limit, like with Prophet Taker marching towards Fortuna. I'm going to make sure Holly's question gets answered in the chat in case she doesn't see it. Think of any containers that you cannot open in mission in the game, nor any rooms. You just need to know how to get in there. And that will be the official stream text answer. Alright. Let's see what we're definitely missing to build that next piece of Hildren. I already had Hildren systems. Boo! Well, then the only thing I needed was chassis, and I just hadn't built the chassis yet. Hadn't gotten the chassis at all. Boo! Well, I thought I was having a very successful and lucky stream, and in fact I was having the opposite of a lucky stream. Of course, I still got the Ice Spike ephemera, so we can call that lucky no matter what. Let's find where it is. Is it in appearance? It's probably in here somewhere. Vitus Essence, we need a frost system, and we need a bunch of cryotic. Of course we do. Alright, well, and a million. Well, not surprised by that, but we'll get it eventually, just like we did with Smoking Body. And Frost system will not be as hard to get as the Ash system. So, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I had a good time with this stream. It was a lot of fun, and we will be back next week for another Space Doll Saturday. Bye-bye.